Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lisa Elvin Staltori, and I am a genealogist and a passionate traveler. For the last several years, I've been featuring each fille du roi or king's daughter and getting to know their stories a little bit better. There are over 700 of them, so we've got a long way still to go. Today we're featuring episode 257, so we can congratulate ourselves as to how far we've come. But before we begin, let me show you ways you can support the channel. The first three keep you in the know. Subscribe, like, and notify. The next three are ways to help the channel grow. Coffee and Patreon are external platforms that you can contribute to. And we also have my PayPal button. And we also have the super thanks that's right here on the YouTube channel that you can click on. So thank you to all of you who have supported me thus far. Truly appreciate you. Let's begin, shall we? Episode is number 257, Marie Halay. And she comes to us from a viewer request. And when I looked in my files, my best friend's daughter. This is also one of her great grandmothers from her father's side. Let's have a look and get to know Marie a little bit better. Born in 1639 in a city actually called Chartres in France. It is found in the Centre Val de Loire region, and inside that region we have the département de Eure-et-Loire. Her parents were Pierre Raoul Halay and Marie Velay. Now, there was about 170,000 people who live in Chartres now. The church that she would have been baptized in, the Church of Saint-Saturin, was there in the 10th or 11th century, was demolished in 1357, rebuilt in 1418, then was absolutely destroyed over and over again. Finally, absolutely after the revolution, the French Revolution in 1793. There remains the altarpiece that was found there, can still be found in one of the other churches. Now, you can see how beautiful, beautiful this region is. I would absolutely love to visit it. So upon her father's death, Marie would choose to come to New France as a fille du roi. She boarded the ship La Nouvelle France and would arrive in Quebec on July 31st, 1670, carrying with her a dowry worth about 300 pounds. Now, she was not one of the youngest of the fille du roi. She was 31 when she came to the new country. Let's see what prospects she had. Groom that she selected and who selected her? Bertrand Courtois dit Le Breton. And he was born in 1647 in a place Ploufragan in France. His parents were Pierre Courtois and Marguerite Herry. Now you can see he comes from the region of Brittany, hence the name dit Le Breton. And inside the Brittany, the département is Côte d'Armor. Now today there are 11,000 people that live in this, I would say, small town, 11,000. The history of Ploufragan is 5,000 years old, and this is evidenced by the archaeology that has happened here and sort of proven. And the name comes from the Breton chief Fracas, who founded his village here, Ploufragan, around the year, get this, 460 AD. Now that, my friends, is some ancient history. And we're not sure when Bertrand would come to New France, but we know he's here. As of the 1666 census, Bertrand Courtois, he's 21, he's an habitant, he's living on his own. It is possible by then that he has completed his 3 to 5 year contract. Many of those people would come, the people from France would come and serve 3 to 5 years, decide to stay. It's highly likely that it was a 3-year contract, judging by his age, 18 to 21. And then by then, he could create his own life and be ready for a wife when she would arrive. Marry they did. August 24th, 1671. He and Marie were married. She had gotten off that boat on July 30th, about a month ago, 24 days, 3.5 weeks. Just amazing the speed that it would have taken. But he was ready, obviously. He probably had land, a house, everything was kind of in order for him to be able to offer this to a woman who would want to be his wife. They would decide to settle at Charlebourg. The origins of Charlebourg begin with the concession of the seigneurie of Notre-Dame-des-Anges in 1626. The seigneurie at that time was absolutely huge, and by 1665, the new intendant of justice, Jean Talon, he wasn't very happy because it wasn't growing, because it was under the control of the church. And so he decided, Jean Talon did, to establish 3 new villages further north on the plateau. And obviously the Jesuits were not happy with this, but he went on anyway. And you can see how amazing the construction of these small villages were. We have Le Bourg Royal, and we have the Charlebourg and Petit-Torveng. So you can see that they were constructed in a star-shaped manner, kind of like spokes of a wheel. And inside of that square, we have the area, the square represented the church and the meeting place for all of the people. This was very unusual because most of the land before had been laid out linear toward the river. And so this was a very unusual pattern and remains so to this day. Very few places in North America are laid out in this manner. On the bottom of your screen, you can see that that's like an aerial view of in the 1960s, and it still actually was shaping just as it had been in the 1600s. The church that would eventually be constructed, Saint Charles Borromée. Obviously, this was not the church that was there at the time. We have a depiction of it from 1696. And Saint Charles de Borromée is a patron saint, if you will, and he was a leading figure of the Counter-Reformation combat against the Protestant Reformation, and that is why they decided to name that particular place in his honor. Now, this village and its neighborhood contains some of the more interesting old houses. Some of them are more than 200 years old. I did not get a chance last summer to visit Charlebourg, and it's, on my top of my list, if you will. You can see here, it looks much further from Quebec City in the map, but it isn't. It really is part of that entire metropolitan area that is now Quebec City. 6 children. We have Marie Marguerite, who would marry Pierre Joseph Colette and have 4 children, all of whom would make it to adulthood. Jean-Baptiste, we have no further information on. Marie-Jeanne would marry Pierre Leveroux and have 11 children, 9 of whom would make it to adulthood and 8 who would leave descendants. We have Pierre, who we have no further information on, and we have the twins, Simon and Marie. We know that Simon would go on to marry Marie-Jeanne Villeneuve and have 2 children, both of whom would make it to adulthood. Marie, we have no further information of. Let's have a look at that 1681 census. We have Bertrand Courtois, 34, his wife, 42, his children, Marguerite, Jean, Marie, Pierre. Then all of a sudden there's a Bertrand. So I'm surmising, and I could be completely wrong, that Bertrand really is the Simon, and possibly Marie was the twin who passed away at birth, or shortly thereafter, and was not present on the census. It's just a supposition. And then we have, in that 1681 census, we have 1 gun, 2 bêtes à cornes, which are 2 horned animals, and they possess 7 arpents valables, about 5 to 6 acres of land. Surprisingly, Bertrand would die sometime between 1685 and 1688. We do not have a death record for him. Surprising because he would have been under 40 years of age, and he was younger than Marie. He and Marie would have been married about 14 to 15 years, not a long time to be certain. Now, Marie herself would pass away sometime later in 1700, and she would live to be 61 years of age, which for the time was a reasonable amount of period. I just think she's an amazing lady, And she left a descendancy, even with all of that, 52 descendants as of 1729. Very remarkable to have started so late and still able to give to New France that amount of descendants in so short a time. And so we end the story of Marie Halay. I think she was an extraordinary woman in the sense that not every woman has to go through all of this extraordinary strife. I mean, she built a life with her husband, created a legacy, and was able to sustain and be one of the pioneers of Charlebourg. So for that, we are so grateful and we are thankful that she came to our shores and that she endured. So thank you very much, Marie. We will be forever grateful for your contribution to New France and to eventually North America. And I am also very grateful to my patrons and supporters. Thank you, all of you, for being there for me all these many, many months. Appreciate you more than you could ever know. So with that, I will say adieu and au revoir until I see you on the next episode of Les Filles du Roi.